Yes. Yes.
Hello, welcome to a very special podcast. It's episode 50.
That's all we've got, fanfare-wise.
Alright, okay, that's fine. I'm Dan, and today I will be your host, and I'm joined by a man with such a high quality of beard that many premium wig makers are after a sample for their range of pube wigs. It's only Callum!
I have been offered quite a bit of money.
I thought so.
To just leave people alone, but...
Yeah, when they're making sort of like movie beards and stuff, then they come and shave you.
A lot of the time they do, yeah. It usually goes back within about 15 minutes.
Yeah? Yeah, can you just like think one out?
Sometimes, yeah.
There we go.
Sometimes if I push on a really hard shit, it just literally just flies out my face.
Well, that's fine, because then you could use that as toilet paper if you get caught short.
Oh yeah, it's quite long.
Yeah.
Anyway, this
Yeah.
isn't- I'm sure this isn't what you had planned.
No, definitely not. Callum, we are going to go straight into some news that I think may upset you a little bit, though.
What?
I know you've been super excited for the past year or so with the coming of the Order 1886.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it may be that wait was a little overhyped. Very mixed reviews have been submitted for what many have called the first proper game of this generation. There's no doubt at all that it does look amazing, but with a story campaign that some have stated as being nothing more than 3 or 4 hours of gameplay, with the rest being QTEs and cutscenes. Now, many games like Metal Gear Solid have huge cinematic cutscenes, but there's still just as many hours to play the game that you have to spare. So, if these reviews are to be believed, it would have to be 4 hours of spectacular gameplay in order to be worth the asking price. Again, though, people have brought up that these gameplay sections are cover-based shooting with poor AI. Makes me think that it may not be worth pre-ordering the game in the first place, assuming that you did. I can't remember if you did or not, but...
No, I was gonna, but I decided to just wait, because I can't actually get it till next week anyway.
Yeah.
But James has got it, though. James
Yeah,
pre-ordered
so's my mate Rick. But on the other side of things, though, people have been giving this high praise due to the engaging story and obviously the amazing graphics. But do warn people that if they're expecting a full kind of action game, they're likely to be disappointed. So for me, it would certainly be one for a maybe pile. You know, if you want something like Uncharted, go and get Uncharted.
Well, that's apples and oranges, isn't it?
I think so. I mean, I think it's, you know, the sort of the Call of Duty fans, you know, and people who are just sort of used to non-stop violent action, they get something that maybe's got a bit more story rather than bullets flying about. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm fine with that. I really don't mind that at all, except if the bits where you are actually doing things and it's just dodging between cover and then shooting at people, that's not acceptable. You can look as good as it wants to. But there's only so much the graphics and a good storyline will take you. I mean, apparently the voice acting is also excellent as well.
I haven't looked into it because I wasn't allowed to look at any news this week.
No, there was a news embargo.
Yeah, so I have all I know about the Order is what I've been told, word of mouth.
Yeah.
And I mean, James is still playing it now. I actually got a text off him earlier, and he wasn't even though he'd pre-ordered it, he wasn't looking forward to it because of what he'd heard. But he's really enjoying it, and he's actually the last message I had off him said that he's glad he was not looking forward to it because it's really surprised him that how enjoyable it actually is, and it is longer than 5 hours. So
well, I did speak to Rick about this and said, you know, what was his sort of impression of it, and he was of the same sort of thing. You know, he's really impressed with it. The graphics are great. So I think that if it was a sort of a Last of Us kind of situation where you know that it looks great and you think, fuck it, I'm going to get that on the day it comes out, I'll pay 45 quid, $60, whatever it is, and I'll pay it. But then if I got it and then Last of Us was only 3 hours of actually me doing something, as good as it was, I would have been disappointed.
Last of Us, I think you're lucky in the fact that the story could not have been told well in 3 hours.
No.
I mean, I did it, the first time I completed it was 14 hours and 48 minutes. Exactly.
That's acceptable for something that is just an action adventure.
Well, that was the first playthrough, though. That wasn't even collecting everything. Like,
yeah,
I
of
did
course,
it for like the millionth time after. It was sunk a lot more hours in. But that is... And I think that is a more grander scale than the Order is going to be. I think the Order is going to be straight to the point, probably a lot of hand-holding. But as long as I enjoy it, I don't really care.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I did talk to someone else about this at work. You know, they had the same sort of reservations that it was only going to be a few hours of actual gameplay. And as far as I'm concerned, if it's worth it, then it doesn't really make any difference. And, you know, he agreed with that. But my issue is, I don't want to pay 40 quid, 45 quid for something, and then go out and buy a console to buy it on for 4 hours of gameplay. As good as it may be.
That's a different situation.
Do you know what I mean? It's not enough. But it's not something to say,
well,
I'm going to go out and buy an entire
people
console.
Complaining about it being, for argument's sake, it is 5 hours long, for argument's sake.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean it's a bad game. Like, you wouldn't watch a film and go, that was only 2 hours long. That was shit. I want 7 hours.
That's true, but with it, I think with films, you've got to keep it sort of quite short, because people don't want to go and sit in a cinema for 6 hours. Personally, if it was a good enough film, then yeah, I'd stick through it. But
IGN, Alien Isolation, your game of the year, they gave it a low review because it was too long.
But that still doesn't make any sense.
No, that's like saying Skyrim was a 2 because it was too long.
Yeah, I mean, there's a game called Ride to Hell, right? Which is it's like one of the it's like one of the worst reviewed games of all time. But it's a down point of it is the fact that it was so bad, but it went on for so long that you had to endure so much terrible story, terrible graphics, shooting. Everything was just poor about it, but you had to go over that for like 15 hours or whatever. So if it was that bad and it was only 3 hours, you could say, well, it was shit, but at least I didn't have to plough through it.
Yeah.
But if it's good and you play it for 25 hours, what's wrong with that?
Exactly.
If you're enjoying it, what's the problem?
That's what I don't get. And one of the Order's low points, I imagine, would have been it was too short. But if they don't want a game that's too long, which I'm pretty sure Alien's campaign is can't be any longer than 15 hours.
I can't remember exactly how long I spent on it, but I'd say 15, maybe a bit less than that. It's probably about right. But for a fucking horror game, if you just ran through it, if you knew where everything was, where all the aliens were going to be, and then you didn't disturb them whenever you were going through, you could probably do it in 4 or 5 hours or something. But the point of it is of how tense it gets and how slowly you have to move. That does slow it down. So I mean, if they're saying that the game itself is made longer because it forces you to be as slow as possible, then you could make an argument for that. But the fact is that when you are doing it and you are, crouched about and just hiding in cupboards and stuff for 20 minutes, because there's so much atmosphere in it, you want to do that. Because if you go running, some motherfucker will drop on your head and kill you. So you have to do it, but it's so well done that you want to do it as well.
There's got to be a fine balance. But again, IGN, they rated a game low because it had too much water.
Yeah, I think that with sort of big, as a company reviewer, maybe they get money thrown at them to say it's good or, So, but anyway, we can't comment on that. We can only have
the new Call of Duty like a 9 out of 10.
Oh, for fuck's sake, right? So, that's ridiculous. Anyway,
personal preference.
Yeah, absolutely. Is it going to be a console buyer? No.
I don't think if it had come out at launch, I'd have definitely picked that over Killzone, and I probably may have regretted it. But
well, no, I mean, Killzone. You know where you stand with Killzone, though. It's an already pretty well-established franchise. But this would be taking a risk to go out and buy something. So when it has been released, and you know that it's maybe not as good as it was hyped up to be, or maybe as good as you thought it was going to be, then you'd think, shit, I don't want to spend 300 quid on that. And I certainly don't.
Oh, Watch Dogs. That's what I pre-ordered the PS4 for.
Well, yeah. I mean, that was still good in its own right, yeah.
But I actually enjoyed Killzone more.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Anyway, next up, though, we have some Deadpool news. Ew, yes.
That's a shocker.
Yeah,
we never have Deadpool news.
I know, right? I've got some more shocking news for you in a minute as well.
Oh, Christ.
But we love Deadpool. Where it's going at the moment, Ryan Reynolds has obviously been teasing pictures with the suit. It's obviously looking excellent. But it has been confirmed that Morena Baccarin, if that's pronounced right, my apologies if it's not, has been cast for an unknown role. Although the name might not ring a bell, her voice might. So she's done a bunch of voiceover work for the Justice League cartoon series, Batman, Brave and the Bold, and she played Talia al Ghul in Son of Batman.
Awesome film.
Yeah, and she voices currently the voice of Dr. Whale's AI computer Gideon in the current TV series Flash.
She likes the comics.
She does. So she's dropped the DC voice acting and scored a lead role in one of the most anticipated Marvel movies due out next year. Also confirmed is Gina Carano, who is she was in the Fast and Furious 6, as well as being Natasha Volkova in Command and Conquer Red Alert 3, which I know won't mean anything to you, but I know who she is.
Yeah, but it was the Bertram Hollyoaks that was in one of the Command and Conquer games.
Yeah, but this is like ages ago when, you know, anyone that they could just put in there, they did.
Kevin Spacey.
But with Red Alert 3, you know, George Takei was in that. I can't remember the girl who plays Tanya, but
Hey, he's from Star Trek.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
But she was, you know, she's like the big hero character for the Russians. So, you know, that's the only way I know who she is, apart from obviously Gideon in Flash. But yeah, that's two. Well, I think she's been cast in as a role called Angel Dust, who I believe was a Morlock, I think. But I'm not too sure on that anymore.
I'm pretty sure she was.
But this Marina Bassarin, she's been put at like the top of the casting, above Ryan Reynolds actually, which is quite strange. So I assume that she's going to have...
Might be cast in order of appearance.
Maybe. But she's certainly going to have a lead role, I reckon. Otherwise it wouldn't have been quite big news. How about, though, other people that you'd like to see? Maybe not actors, but certainly characters.
Characters.
In Deadpool.
Cable,
perfect choice.
I'm going to go the easy way out and say Wolverine.
I'd say any of the X-Men, to be honest.
I'd probably say more Wolverine, because I think it'd be a bit more fun. But
yeah,
any of the
just
X-Men, really.
Constantly Deadpool pissing off Wolverine.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I'd actually like to see Punisher.
Yeah, that actually would be pretty good. But the thing is, because they are at complete opposite ends of the sort of comedic scale.
Yeah, that's why I think it'd be funny. Well,
yeah,
then
like
again, that's
Cable,
what he does with Cable, though.
Well, that's the thing, but Cable still, you know, he still has some form of a sense of humour. You know, he's not a murdering psychopath. He's just an X-Man of the future. Whereas the Punisher is just very, very wrong in the head.
There's a very funny comic panel. I can't actually remember it word for word, but Punisher he says something, and then Deadpool's like, "Oh, quite the family man, aren't you?" And then it's just like 3 panels of just like silence. And, like, the next panel's just like Deadpool in like a fucking dumpster or something.
Well, speaking of, actually, I read a Punisher comic that I've had for literally years, but never actually read. I don't know why. Called Mother Russia. And that is a fantastic book. If anyone's into the Punisher or wants something to maybe have a look into, I definitely start with the Max series. They're just amazing. But Mother Russia was fucking brilliant.
That's actually on my big Marvel canvas in my it's like 70 years of Marvel.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think I've seen that. Yeah,
you've seen it a few times.
Yeah, but it's excellent. I mean, it goes to a guy called the Mongolian. I don't know if that name rings a bell to you, but he's just like this tiny little guy, super effective fighter, and he just beats Castle and like his teammate at the time just half to death, like instantly. Just comes in and just beats the shit out of them, and then like he hits this kid, and then obviously Frank just goes into rage mode. And this guy just sort of does this like spinning kick at him, and he just catches his foot and then just swings him around the room, just smacking his head off everything, and like breaks everything, and, like just crushes him completely. Like he only weighs like 70 kilos or something, but he's like pure muscle. and he just picks it up, and he's just like fully like Hulk versus Loki in the Avengers.
Yeah.
He's just doing that, just like, and then like smacks his head off like corners of lockers and stuff like that, and he just kills him like horrifically. So go and read it. Oh my god, it's the best. But yeah, I'd like to see Punisher and Deadpool just in that sort of crossing paths. You know, Deadpool's just taking the piss, and Punisher's just like, you need to fuck off, mate.
Yeah, I mean that's the least likely one.
Definitely. I mean, until they put the Punisher back into the Marvel Cinematic Universe again, you know, getting established with other characters, there's no way there's going to be any crossovers.
No, very unlikely.
Yeah. Anyway, going back to PS4s though, I actually have been looking into something which is possibly the first game which may get me into a PS4 once and for all. It's called No Man's Sky.
Have you only just heard about this, Dan?
I've only just heard about it.
Oh, God damn.
It's just the absolute best. It's developed by Hello Games, who are an indie studio in Guildford. And it's an amazing looking first-person space survival game which sees you pilot increasingly improved fighter jets, and you've got your own spaceship which you improve and stuff as well, which allows you to survive in... It is just one of the best procedurally generated universes I think I've ever seen. The fact that everything's different is just amazing. Apparently,
before you explored every single planet on that game, our sun would burn out.
Yeah, it's obviously with that becomes a lot of repetition, I guess. But it just looks... It's like the sort of the space engineers kind of ship flying about.
I actually think it looks better.
Oh, it looks 10 times better, definitely. I mean, it's like, it's obviously Spore is also procedurally generated, but it's like 10,000 times better than that. But there's a quote here for anyone that hasn't heard it, which I think does kind of sum it up. Whether you want to explore and see things never before discovered, or directly set course for the centre of the galaxy, how you play No Man's Sky is up to you. But you cannot take your voyage lightly. You need to prepare. Collect precious resources on the surface of planets and trade them for ships, suits and equipment that will take your destiny in the stars. I think it's beautiful.
That is beautiful.
But yeah, it's just sort of like DayZ, space engineers, Spore, all sort of mashed together. So it's like survival with a ship that you fly about in, and every planet you go to will be totally different.
I think you can walk around as well once you're on the planet.
Yeah, you can, yeah. It's the same with stations and stuff as well. But the big thing is with this, that Sony have thrown money at them.
Yeah.
And they've got it as a PS4 exclusive only, which I am devastated about. But like I say, it's possibly the first one that will think, yeah, maybe I'll get this. Because, you know, with the order, would I get it? Possibly. But as it turns out to be like 4 or 5 hours, at worst. So that wouldn't be worth it. Uncharted and Last of Us, those will obviously be great, but again, after sort of 10-15 hours you'd pretty much complete them, so you could only go back and do them again. Something like this though is going to be infinitely different every time you turn it on, and it's something where you think, I don't know what's going to happen on this planet, what the fuck is going to go down.
I think if you're going to get a PS4, this is the year, if I'm honest. You got the likes like No Man's Sky, Uncharted, Bloodborne. There's a lot of games coming out this year that you'd make your money's back.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But No Man's Sky looks amazing.
It really does, and I mean, I can't believe I haven't seen anything from this before. But the fact that it's
I've mentioned it on podcasts.
You may have done, but I very rarely listen to it.
Just been sat there going like, oh, I've only 24 episodes left, and then it's my turn.
I know, right?
Only 13 episodes left.
But anyway, going back to the Deadpool news, I did say that there was something equally shocking coming up, and that's this. It's some more Batman vs Superman news, which we can't just have a podcast without it.
We might as well just call it the Batman cast, the Batcast.
The Batcast, yeah. That's what he gets when he breaks his leg, isn't it? Yeah, nice. I'm not sure if you've been made aware of this, but I'm sure you have. But we'll talk about it anyway, because I think it's a good thing. Zack Snyder did what he does best to stir up interest in the new Batman vs Superman Dawn of Justice movie. He tweets it. So now we've seen Jason Momoa in his full Aquaman outfit.
What?
Now, while many are raving that this is an Aquaman at his most badass, I, on the other hand, am not particularly impressed. Instead of the traditional Arthur Curry trademark orange Atlantean garb, this Aquaman instead has fish scales tattooed onto him. It looks to me like realism again rears its ugly heads for DC films. He may have looked outrageous in many of his previous incarnations, but the new 52 Aquaman is a badass in his own right.
New 52
go and watch,
Aquaman's awesome.
Yeah, go and watch Justice League War: Throne of Atlantis to see for yourself. He's just a psychopath. He's just like, oh, what, you're from the surface world? Stab. He just puts him in such a better light than all of his other. It's just, I can't do anything because you're not in the sea. It's nothing like that. But the picture they've shown of him, he looks outrageous, like worse than if they just put him in just a standard orange lycra jumpsuit.
I just looked at it. He just looks like Khal Drogo from Game of Thrones.
I really don't like it at all.
I get why they did do the whole orange and green shit, because he looked like a fucking mermaid.
But that's kind of what he is.
Yeah, but and you've got Batman and you've got Superman, maybe Cyborg, and then you got some dude in fucking orange and green.
They don't have to make it look like fluorescent orange. It could just have, it in the same way that Superman's suit was always like bright blue with bright red pants. When they put it into Man of Steel, it was like an Under Armour like suit.
Yeah.
You'd put this on,
which
and then you'd put your battle armour on. Exactly, and then he just turns that into his outfit. Well, you do on Krypton. You're not, impenetrable on Krypton.
Yeah, but he didn't get it till he got home, did he? Got to Earth.
No, it was on the scout ship.
Yeah, so but he didn't get it till he was on Earth.
Who? Kal-El. Yeah, but Jor-El was wearing one.
Oh yeah, black one, didn't he?
No, it was a blue one.
Was it? Oh,
yeah, it was the Superman suit, but then he put his armour on top of it, which means that it's medieval knights used to wear like an outfit underneath and then put chainmail and stuff. Yeah. So something like that. But in Throne of Atlantis, that is basically what Aquaman's outfit was. It was the sort of under garb that you would put the armour on, and then he says, well, I don't want to wear the armour looks stupid, I'll just stick with this. So that's what they did, and they could have done the exact same thing. They didn't have to make it bright blue, they could have just made it like a rusty orange. That would have been absolutely fine. He's not blonde. I don't know what's all that about.
Well,
he's got like a black beard.
They made him like a pirate, basically.
He does look like, he looks like a pirate, or like one of the mermaids from the Harry Potter films. The ones that are all like really horrific. Like those, but he's a human instead.
They just tried to make him look badass.
I think you're right, that's exactly what they've done. So instead of saying, well, we'll give him an outfit that's got fish scales on it, we'll just tattoo them onto him instead. So then he could just be a bloke who likes to swim.
Unlikely.
No, but that's exactly what you could say.
I guess so, but again, we'll give it the benefit of the doubt.
No, I won't.
Look what we said about Quicksilver in Days of Future Past.
I had no...
he looked like a twat.
Well, he wasn't in his full outfit, granted. But this guy, instead of... It's not because he didn't have one because of the time period. When he got to the sort of present day, he might have had his proper outfit. But in this, instead of giving him a suit later on, they've just tattooed it onto him instead and given him a bit of shoulder armour. The Trident looks okay.
We'll see when it's out.
Yeah, I know, but I'm still not impressed by it at all. But before that, before we end even, we've got a rumour, a sweet and tasty rumour. The best of all the rumours. Oh, you'll love this one. Videogamer.com have received word from their very special sources that Predator could very well be a DLC character in Mortal Kombat 10. Predator.
So?
What do you mean, so? That's fucking awesome!
Nah. I'd have picked a better character than that.
No, absolutely not. Predator is amazing. He's got the laser cannon, he's got the spear that he throws, he's got his knife, knife blades. He explodes. The fatalities and stuff that he could do would be fucking amazing.
No, it'd be fun.
Camouflage. It'd be like Reptile.
It'd be Kano Reptile.
Kano Reptile.
That's what it'd be.
It'd be similar, yeah. But no, I think that would be a fantastic.
It'd be Reptile.
No, but yeah, like Freddy Krueger was obviously a really good addition to Mortal Kombat 9, as were some of the other DLC characters as well. But maybe we could be seeing an increase in media crossover characters.
Oh, if you look back to Soul Calibur, the GameCube version of that had Link as a special character.
Yeah.
The PS2 one had. I can't remember what the PS2 version had actually. Might have been someone from Resident Evil.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. It was. I can't remember now. Anyway, and the original Xbox had Spawn.
Really?
Yeah.
Spawn is awesome.
And I'm pretty sure one of the other Soul Caliburs had Darth Vader and Yoda as well.
Well, and Starkiller, yeah.
So I could have. I don't know. Predator's alright, I guess, but I'd have preferred someone else.
Predator's amazing. I don't think there's a better for simple sheer violence and skill,
Wolverine
and gadgets and stuff. Right, you're talking about something that was voted for by idiots.
Wolverine would kill Predator.
No, he wouldn't.
Because he would.
Predator's got to just blow up.
Yeah.
Nuke him.
Yeah. Let's nuke him. The man who survives nukes.
Which is impossible, by the way.
It's a comic book character.
It's impossible.
Well, it's not.
Of course it is.
Well, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Not if it's already been done. I mean, it's possible.
No.
Of course it does. If something's happened, it means it's
all
possible.
he can do is just heal fast. That's it.
Again, I take you back to Hulk, where he literally rips him into pieces, and he just grows himself back.
No.
Yes.
That's not how, yeah, from that, yeah, but if you nuke him, then it literally evaporates all of the molecular... Just everything.
He's been nuked.
Yes, but that means that he would be then dead. He can't just magic.
But he did though, didn't he?
Thin air. But that's bullshit.
It's a comic book.
Exactly.
It's the same way Batman beats Superman. He obviously wouldn't, but he does.
No.
Pretty much every single time.
Well, that's only because he needs to. Because if Superman just threw him like 20 miles across the country, he'd die.
Exactly, but he never does.
Which is stupid.
There's actually quite a good thing I was sent the other day, and it's just a picture. Superman, red eyes, and it's like Superman's at full power, red kryptonite. Pick 3 heroes to take him on.
To try and take him on, right.
And then there's one for Hulk as well.
Fuck. I don't know, I think Hulk would be worse in a way, because he's just so mindless. You just wouldn't be able to predict what he was going to do. I mean, assuming that whoever you've got, can actually keep up with either of them. Because, Superman, obviously, you can move at the speed of light, almost. So, you could just have 3 Batmans, and he would still just fly around the world,
Absolutely.
and then just fly through them.
Well, for Superman, I picked my 3.
Oh, go on.
Batman, obviously. Tried and tested. Obviously,
Yeah,
these are 3 all working together. Wonder Woman. And Doctor Doom.
Dr. Doom, interesting choice.
Except
that electricity would have no effect on him.
No, but he's a world-class magician who's really good with magic, and that's one of Superman's biggest weaknesses is magic.
Right. Well, then you might as well have had
and the Wizard from Wizard of Oz.
Doctor Strange, Professor Xavier, and Magneto.
Why? None of them can do magic.
Doctor Strange, the Sorcerer
No,
Supreme.
the fucking Xavier and Magneto.
Yeah, Xavier's like one of the highest level fucking psychics, so all he has to do is just get into his mind and distract him.
That doesn't work though, does it? It's like Sabretooth and Wolverine. Mind control don't work on them.
Well, no, it's just more suggestion rather than anything. Or just to distract him in some way. Magneto pins him down, just throws as much as he possibly can on him, and Stephen Strange just takes him out. So he doesn't fly away at 1 billion miles an hour.
To be fair, he's faster than Flash, so...
in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's got to do is fly around. You won't be able to get him.
No. But anyway,
Anyway.
regarding the Mortal Kombat thing, though, who else would you like to see as a DLC character?
Literally anybody.
Well, I mean, if they're taking from... Because obviously Predator's a bit of a stretch, really, to get them from Fox. Same as Freddy Krueger. No one would have called that, but obviously they're quite renowned for being violent, nasty.
Well, didn't Ed Boon have something to do with Freddy Krueger?
Well, apparently he also had something to do with this Predator thing. A fan put together a mock picture of Scorpion and Predator, like above the MK10 logo, jumping at each other, and he loved it and retweeted it. So potentially that's where that's actually come from, if that's to be believed. But anyone who's got that sort of, you could have anyone, Hannibal Lecter, anyone who's just over the top violent.
I'd like from games Kratos.
Kratos was already in it.
Was he?
Yeah, he was in Mortal Kombat 9.
Oh, he was. Yeah. Fucking hell, forgot all about that.
Bloody hell.
That's going back a bit.
Yeah.
All right then. Ooh. You know what? I actually don't know. With the exception of comic book characters, but
well, you've got to assume that there's obviously huge amounts of legal.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
But if they do manage to get Predator's still a pretty big franchise of its own. So if they do get the rights to using as a character, then I guess no one's really, because the thing is, Predator hasn't been, not much has been done with Predator decently for a while.
No.
Whereas comic book characters are kind of big business at the moment. So I don't think they've already done DC Mortal Kombat anyway, and that was just awful. So unless you got in characters who were obviously the only ones that were any good were the characters that killed the enemy, like Joker, like his fatality that was copied in Mortal Kombat 9. Shang Tsung did a fatality, I think it was one of the secret ones, where he turned into the outfit that Joker wears in The Dark Knight. At the bank at the start, with the clown mask on. He turns into that and then does the exact same fatality that Joker does. That's pretty cool. Which is awesome. So at least they liked that one. So maybe comic book characters who are, not afraid of just killing people.
Well, that's the problem in it, because a lot of people wanted some of the characters from fucking hell, Injustice, like to appear as a pop-up character, like Scorpion popped up in Injustice. But the problem is, DC would not allow their characters to be killed by fatalities and stuff.
Well, wasn't there a fatality for Scorpion in Injustice?
I don't think so.
Really? God. What a fucking waste.
It was a waste anyway. They rewrote him. Gave him a new suit and a fucking reason as to why he was there and everything.
Oh, forget it.
Ridiculous. But yeah, I can't actually think of anyone now. Kratos was my go-to guy, and he's already been fucking done.
Yeah. This can go back about anything really. So, you could have Raiden, maybe, or Cloud.
Actually,
Sephiroth, maybe.
Raiden would be fucking good.
Yeah, Raiden. Obviously huge sword, ninja, flying about.
Blades out his fucking shoes and his fucking hands and everything.
Yeah,
I forgot his name now. From Deus Ex.
Oh, Jensen.
He'd be pretty fucking in.
Actually, yeah, the Deus Ex guy, because he's obviously not afraid to kill anyone.
Well, he does a lot of good kills on the fucking game anyway.
Yeah. So that'd be a really good one. Yeah, definitely.
Ooh.
There's obviously plenty of characters that go out and kill, James Bond and Hitman and all that sort of thing. But the trouble is, as a sort of a ninja fighter,
they wouldn't really fit.
They're useless.
But
say that Freddy Krueger, neither was he. But I actually really like playing as him.
Yeah, but there's more to him than James Bond.
Yeah, I think the amount of legal stuff to get through for Bond as a playable character in anything would be a fucking nightmare.
Yeah. Well, they couldn't even remake fucking GoldenEye because of legal issues.
I know, right? But yeah, I think there's plenty of potential there. If things like Freddy Krueger and Kratos and stuff were interesting DLC characters that people wanted to go out and buy, I'm not even going to talk about that. then I think that if Predator was to come in as a DLC character, I think it would only open the floodgates for just other awesome DLC. However, it may lead to it being watered down with just whoever's popular at the moment being thrown in as a side character.
Yeah, I mean, I think Alien Isolation would have probably helped the Predator bit.
I guess.
Because then again, the Alien would have been a good addition. Actually, no, because it's more of a stealth killer.
Well, no, I think you could have him as like an actual fighter, you know. But the trouble is, because he's not just a two-legged thing, that then you just have to program new moves in. You'd have to redesign the entire model.
Yeah.
So, although I think Alien would be a much better one to have, because he's got a billion moves, you know, he can sneak off and then stab you with a tail and everything. That'd be amazing. Yeah. I just think for the ball ache that would be for DLC, it wouldn't be worth it.
It would be better on like an arena fighter, as opposed to like a 2D plane fight.
Yeah, maybe.
So something like Power Stone or Smash Brothers style, where you could actually go off screen and use attacks and stuff.
All over the place. Yeah, I guess, yeah. But hopefully they'll be announcing, obviously confirming the full roster, because there's obviously a bunch of new characters that are in MK10, or MKX, whatever you want to call it. I would like to see if we do have some new, maybe, I'd like to think that maybe, you know, they throw in a few Marvel characters or something, because obviously they've done DC.
It's Disney now, isn't it?
But, you know, Iron Man, he's killed a bunch of people.
If they would, it'd be Hulk or Wolverine or Punisher, Deadpool.
Not Punisher. He's not an injury. Deadpool, I think, if any of them, I think Deadpool would be the only one that you could put in. Same as Deathstroke, because they are ninjas, but they are ninjas that kill frequently.
I'd say Deadpool, Wolverine, maybe Venom. Well, no, Carnage more than Venom.
Possibly, but then again, these are characters that have got to be able to be beaten by someone who's, you know, who could just freeze things.
Well, Deadpool then. Wolverine.
Yeah. Freeze, tear his head off.
Yeah,
definitely.
I have one more addition.
Oh, go on.
The bear from Naughty Bear.
Or, yeah, Conker.
Conker would be amazing. He'd be
like Tails just flying about and just... Yeah, definitely.
That would be immense.
Yeah. Anyway, what's coming up on PvP, Callum?
We are starting a new playthrough. Speaking of James Bond, I forgot the game. Everything or Nothing.
Everything or Nothing.
Everything or Nothing. We're going to start playing that on the old PS2. And what did we start last week? Wolf Among Us.
Oh yes.
We'll be doing some more Wolf Among Us, because I really enjoyed that.
It was pretty funny. I do like that. Yeah.
What else do we have? Oh, we have another Talk to Dan.
Yep, we're going to be having some more Can You Believe It?
Yes.
Some more PvP show, definitely.
I think that's about it that we've got planned. Everything else will just be sporadic and random.
Kind of. DayZ, I was on the other day again. I absolutely, fully shit myself the other day, right? And I tell you why, because I was on DayZ. You know I don't like playing it on my own anyway, because people just jump it. Exactly. But I was watching something. There's a channel called Vsauce on YouTube, which does loads of like sort of interesting science stuff, and they talk about certain subjects. And one of the videos I was watching the other day, because I've got a dual monitor thing, so YouTube was on the one, and I was playing DayZ on the other. They were talking about what would happen in the instance of a nuclear attack against America, and they said, well, you know, basically what you'd see is something like this, and then it came up with just like this sort of scrolling, really shitty like 1980s text, and like a Microsoft audio voice talking, saying like this is a test of the emergency, and just going through all that, and I was just like, oh man, imagine that. And then I just turned, and there was a zombie just stood right in front of me, and I had a heart attack. Absolutely. Because like there wasn't anything else going on, earphones in, and then it's just this constant tone of just like the world is about to end in 15 minutes. You know, get to below ground, blah blah blah, and then zombie just goes, Rah! And oh my god, I had a heart attack. It was the best though.
That's amazing.
It was.
Before I forget though, we have a giveaway.
We do, yeah.
2 tickets to the Enemy Awards tour on the 26th of February. Which is this Thursday coming. So if you want to win 2 tickets, email us at playervpodcast@gmail.com, or just use the contact us section on the website. Send us an email letting us know who you want to see the most and why you should win the tickets.
Absolutely. That is the 26th of February at Manchester Ritz.
And you have to be over 14 as well.
Oh yeah, but all the other details and stuff are all listed
it's
on
all
the
there.
website.
Have a look on the website, have a look on the Twitter. We need to give them away though, so get in touch.
Definitely.
Crazy hearts.
Right, Callum, the last 3 things you did with your foot.
Walked. Kicked.
What did you kick?
Logan.
Okay.
No, I kicked the toy out the way.
Oh, right.
It was on the floor. So instead of picking it up, I just kicked it.
Isn't that how men clean?
Pretty much. I tried to flick it up into the toy chest.
Reposition everything.
Yeah. For someone else to stand on.
Yeah.
Walked, kicked, and scratched.
Itchy feet?
Yeah.
That's probably a sign that you're masturbating too much. That's what people keep telling me anyway.
That's because you're trying to do it with your feet.
It's true.
You succeed though.
Oh yeah. Right, that's everything for this special episode 50. You'll be hearing more from me in episode 100 when we finally get there.
Yes. Well done though, Dan. You did well today.
Thanks very
You
much.
served us proud.
Oh, that was the plan entirely. So, say goodbye, Callum.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, yes.